to BAM Weekly. That's Boris and Matt Weekly, the show where we chat about sports, the show where we chat about some entertainment, and then we bring it all together to chat some sports entertainment, otherwise known as wrestling. We're your hosts, I'm Boris, and as always, I am joined by Matt.
Bonjour! How's everybody doing out there? We hope you're doing well. We hope you're set for a good weekend. Boris, can I ask you a long weekend? Yes, sir. Labor Day weekend. And my friend, can I ask you a deep personal question off the hop, Boris?
Always.
Are you ready for some football, my friend? It is football season.
God, my balls are hard. My penis is erect. I'm ready for some NFL football.
Nothing like hard balls in the morning, my friend. It is football season. We got to start by talking some NFL. But first and foremost, how you doing, big homie?
I'm fucking annoyed. I had such an annoying morning.
Dude, spill that tea.
All right, so we're a little late in recording this because I'm like, I'm very meticulous on time. I've given Matt so much shit about time, so it's hilarious when stuff happens to me. So I've been super busy this week, just with family. So my brother, he's officially moved out west as of yesterday. So all week I've been like super busy with the family, right? So my Thursday was incredibly just jam-packed at work with meetings and reviews and one-on-ones and stuff like that, right? So sorry, I'm just still drinking a coffee here, and
myself as well.
Right, and so I had an appointment because my phone battery is like really bad, but I have Apple Care, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna get that motherfucker changed, and made my appointment for Thursday evening, but I was so busy, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna change it to Friday. Friday morning, they had an appointment. I was going to drop off my phone, come back home, record some Bamaroo, and then pick it up. Well, get home. Internet's dead, and I have no phone, and I'm alone. So I'm like, well, this is the predicament. How 1990s of me.
Yeah, no doubt. I was just going to say, did you send me a smoke signal? I don't have a landline. And there's literally, unless you get your ass on a bus or something and get from Mississauga to the home, there would be no way to communicate.
Well, it would have been faster. But the funniest part is I don't even have your number to have called you, like off the top of my head.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, it's in the phone, but yeah, like, what could you, how the fuck are you going to pull that out?
Like,
so, yeah
I felt so
hilarious. But yeah,
I felt so powerless and useless, and I'm just like, wow, what the fuck? I have never been so dependent on some form of technology ever before, and I'm just like, yeah, fuck that. So, yeah, that was my morning in a nutshell.
No, I'm glad that like all is well. I was just because you usually are very rarely late and never go radio silent, like really ever, unless you're like, I'm like,
and I tell people
get off the internet. Yeah, you'll actually give us like I'm going on the Boris break for the weekend. Don't worry if I don't respond. But usually, yeah, like especially when you're like, okay, 10:30 podcast, it's like you're ready at 10:15. But yeah, man, no, I was just like, I'm glad you're okay. And let's get to it now. We're here, brother, here to start the weekend off right. Talk some sports, talk some entertainment, talk about the Blue Jays slipping out of the wild card race a little bit.
Yeah, and they're so hot and cold. Yeah. They're like a Katy Perry song. They're hot and they're cold. They're old and they're young, et cetera, and I'm sure they've kissed a girl and they liked it. But like, shall we start with the Jays?
I guess we'll quickly just do a little bit of Jays talk and then get into the deep dive on the NFL season, the big NFL preview. But yeah, just off the hop, Blue Jays 2.5 back right now of the wild card, I believe, at this moment of the Texas Rangers.
They're 2.5, and they're a very like up and down team, right? You can't do that in September. And while all the other teams are just burning hot, like the Mariners, right? Like the I was about to call them the Texans, the Rangers, yes. Right? Like that's the issue. I don't think we're gonna make the playoffs. It does hurt me, but at the same time, what did you expect? What did we honestly expect from this team? The team made minimal changes from last year. We all saw how last year went, and everyone knows how I feel about our manager.
Yeah, Schneider's going to be the one to go. You can't fire all the players, but if they don't make the playoffs, yeah, Schneider will be out. I imagine the job will maybe go to Don
It
Mattingly, but
100,
I'm not
dude,
positive.
100 and like a million percent that it's gonna
Yeah,
go to Don.
okay.
He was like when he was hired. What did I say? You have your replacement right there. How does John Schneider feel knowing the guy who's gonna replace him mid-season is sitting on the bench all year?
Sword of Damocles. But we both did say at the start that we thought the Blue Jays would make the playoffs. You, I think, had them all the way in the AL final, the
I
AL
did.
CS. Yeah, I thought they would lose in the wild card or the
Now,
divisional rather after making the playoffs. But it's not over yet, man. There's still a month, lots of baseball
no,
left. They're only 2.5
100%.
games back.
We can get hot tonight and run it to October and then crash out after leading 8-1 in the fourth inning in the wild card
little,
series.
little bit of a raw wound there.
Just a
The
little,
pain
just a
pain
little.
is still real.
Let me say something about Don Mattingly. For those of you who haven't had Don Mattingly as a manager, just wait. People think Schneider is annoying. People think that Schneider relies too much on analytics. Just wait.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Hey man, like I would love to have a beer with Schneider. I think he's a great dude. I'm not sure if he's equipped to be a
I don't know.
major league manager, but I think this next month will tell. Like, you know what I mean? If he can rally the troops and we can squeak into the playoffs and do a little damage, he will stick around for sure.
Will the well, we'll see. We'll see, man. I don't know. Like I think the team is incredibly talented, but I just don't know what the issue is, man. There's no reason why we're in this position. And you know what the funniest part? We're talking as if the fucking Jays are under 500.
Well, that's what I'm trying to lend some levity to the proceedings. Well, let's remember that the Jays are having an excellent season. It's just the AL there's like two classes in the AL. There is no middle. It is the rich and the poor. It is the winners and the losers. And unfortunately, there are like 7 playoff teams for 6 slots, and the Jays are just gonna be bumped out. Maybe not. The loss of Bo hurts again.
Yeah. Oh, that's just hurting. Again, what do I say about MVP players? I said this last week or a couple weeks ago about Bo and MVP players, right? We're just seeing how important he is to us. And this is going to be controversial. This is going to be a Boris take. But if I had to choose between Bo and Vladdy, my vote's on Bo at this point.
I don't. I love Vladdy, but I don't even think that's so controversial anymore. I feel
it
like
is for the
majority
for
of
the average fan.
that's fair. Yeah, for the casual fan, yes, might be up in arms. But honestly, like I feel like most people following the Blue Jays day to day, like 90% would probably agree with you. Most value Bo. See what I did there?
Yes, I like it.
Very good. So if there's anything else you have to say
Nope.
about these Toronto Blue Jays,
Well, we can move on.
well, I believe, yeah, fair enough. I believe there is a football season kicking off very soon, September 7th, Thursday, NFL opening night. Boris,
I am so excited for this season. I don't even know why. Like, there's no reason for us to to be this excited, but I am. Like I said, I'm just ready for this season. I think it's just the start of September. I think that's what I was waiting for more than anything else. Our Dolphins are looking half decent.
absolutely. It sucks. Jalen Ramsey, big offseason acquisition, having a knee issue right now. He won't start the season on the team, but he'll be there soon. And yeah, the Dolphins, there's talk that they might get a great running back in a trade. Dolphins are looking pretty nice. But as is tradition here on BAM, I think we'll quickly go through the AFC and NFC, rank the teams from 16 to 1, go through the playoffs, little sentence on each team. It is the BAM tradition, the football preview, year 3, Boris. By God, we're still here.
Barely, but we're here. All right, man. Let's do this.
All right, worst team in the AFC. I think it's going to be the Colts this year, the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson could be really sick, but he's coming in like very inexperienced, more of an athlete than a quarterback, they say. Their running back, Jonathan Taylor, not going to start the game, not going to start the season on the field. I think the Colts are in some deep trouble this year. Colts, worst team in the AFC.
The Colts remind me of the Dolphins from a few years ago, and by that I just mean they just have no direction. They have nothing, like they have no plan in place.
I agree with that. Like, well, it seems too like their plan is to build a team under Richardson, but it hurts when you lose your
Yeah.
possibly best running back in the league. Just like he's sitting out, no idea when he's coming back. Also, there are airplanes flying around, air show time in Toronto. Sorry about that. It sounds like they're flying
Can't
like
hear it.
into my bedroom right now. Good. Okay. Glad.
Luckily we can't hear it.
Yes. Very, very good, my friend. The Colts are going to be bad. Also in that division, also bad. The Houston Texans. They're not going to be very good. Rookie quarterback with them as well. C.J. Stroud. I think just to say the Texans will be a little better. Maybe like the difference between 3-14 versus 4-13. But those are the bottom of the AFC, in my opinion.
Agreed. The Texans again. They're just. I don't know. I don't get that team, but whatever. I don't care about them. So.
I think I would 1,000,000% agree with that opinion. Number 14 in the AFC, third to last, the anti-penultimate team, I believe it is, Boris, the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders. Jimmy Garoppolo crew. I don't know. The roster's a little thin, lost some players. I think it's kind of tough times in Vegas. I'm not feeling the Raiders this year.
They're the Raiders. They're such a weird franchise. They're almost like the Leafs, where I kind of and by that I don't mean it like I guess I do mean it in a backhanded way, but like their management and their ownership knows that they have diehard supporters that will support them and buy shit no matter what and go to games, yada yada yada. And what's their motivation in really putting on winners?
It's crazy, like the team, the Pirates, and like the biker look to all the fans. They'll follow this team from city to city, through good times and bad. It's like you said, like they have such an established fan base, much like the Leafs, that they almost don't even have to fucking try. So
Yeah.
it's not that they're not trying, but I just think it's bad times for Vegas right
They're
now.
not
I think those
as
three
motivated.
teams, but yeah, exactly, and they're okay with building a winner slowly, I think, at this point, which is where they're slotted in. Maybe Jimmy Garoppolo will prove us all wrong, but I don't see it.
Yep.
Okay, so I think those three teams are clearly like the worst in the AFC, in my opinion. I think everybody else in the AFC could realistically make the playoffs. It wouldn't shock me if any of the remaining teams actually squeaked in. We will start with a team that I believe in the least, and that is the Denver Broncos. Looked like Russell Wilson was done. He looked like shit last year. Jerry Judy's going to be missing a lot of time. He was like their big receiver pick. He was a hot like breakout candidate, and he's going to be missing time. I just think Denver is in bad shape. I don't trust the Broncos, and I like their division a lot with the Chargers and the Chiefs in that division, who are both very, very good.
That's that. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that, right? I think that their interdivision rivals are just so much better that doesn't matter, right? If they don't win those games, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely, absolutely right.
Next
Next up,
games
the
right
Tennessee.
there. That's four
Boom,
games.
and they
right
should
there.
be 0-4. Should be 0-4 in those four games.
Yeah. Anyways, continue.
Tennessee Titans, I have next at number 12 in the AFC. The addition of Nuke, DeAndre Hopkins, nice to see him, but I don't know if he's like the old Nuke that we saw in a couple stops before. Even with Arizona, he was still pretty sick, but there might be a little tread off the tires for Mr. Hopkins. I think Tennessee, like they still have a decent roster on paper, but I think they're aging. And I just think Jacksonville is pretty much the class of that division. So I'm going to have Tennessee here at 12 in the AFC.
Beauty. Okay.
They could scare me though. And again, like everyone from this point forward, it would not blow my socks off if they made the playoffs. Next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the most overhyped team this year. People are losing their minds for Pittsburgh. I just listened to the Bill Simmons podcast. He was jerking off over the Steelers. I don't get it at all. Maybe Kenny Pickett's going to show us something. Apparently, he's been pretty good in practice. He's been looking good in the preseason. And obviously, the Steelers with Mike Tomlin as coach, like he's one of the best coaches in all of football. That is irrefutable. But I don't know. I don't quite see it with Pittsburgh. I think they are a year away, these Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
They're not ready this year.
All right, my friend.
I think they will be a good team, but I think it's not this year. But we'll see. We could be wrong. What do we know?
Exactly. Far from a football expert. That's just my read on the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. Next up, the New England Patriots. I hate the quarterback. Mac Jones is not very good. The offense, it's all right. Ramondre Stevenson, very good running back. They added Ezekiel Elliott, but I think he's done. He looks like more bus than man, and I don't even mean Jerome Bettis. I mean an actual physical city bus. I don't like the Patriots. The Patriots defense is pretty good. The offense, I'm not a big fan. Sorry, Father Feltham, Greg of the Smack Daddies, not feeling your Patriots 10th in the AFC this year.
I think that's honestly giving them more credit than they deserve.
There you go. Yeah. Again, tough division too. AFC East is a very good division this year. Speaking of the AFC East, ninth, missing the playoffs just by a little bit, the New York Jets with Aaron Rodgers. And honestly, it's crazy to say, but I think the weak link of this team is new quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Look at the rest of the roster. It's pretty fucking sick, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a playoff quarterback in this loaded AFC. I do not think he will get his team into the top 7.
I just think he's like a little more washed up than people think.
Yes. He won the MVP a couple years back, but last year he was pretty bad. He did not have a lot to work with, you could argue. Definitely has one of the best rosters around him he's ever had. This Jets team is really good, but I don't like the quarterback. And I'll say the same thing about my number 8 team, the Cleveland Browns. Stacked roster, really good on paper. Quarterback, obviously Deshaun Watson. The less said about him, I guess, the better at this point. He looked like shit last year too, man, and he's gonna have to take a big step up from how he played last year in order for this team to be a playoff team, and I don't see it.
Agreed. And like some have made the argument that there was a lot of distraction for Deshaun Watson,
Which is true. That is true.
It's true, but you know, he should have been distracted with bars and 3 walls.
Like where your head's at. Yeah, could have been distracted in an orange jumpsuit.
Right? So like,
arguably.
I just think that that was an excuse. We'll see. I don't think he's got it. And like you said, the less we say, the better. Let's move on.
Yes, sir. Let's go to the playoff teams now. 7 out of 16 teams in each conference make the playoffs in the National Football League. We will start with number 7 in the AFC, Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're going to get off to a slow start because Burrow is hurt. Even if he starts week 1, which is still, I believe, up in the air, he might not, be as good as Joe Burrow has been. Having said that, Cincinnati obviously has gotten really good over the last recent history of the NFL. I don't think there's any reason to write them out of the playoffs yet. 7th seed Cincinnati Bengals.
And that's interesting because like people have the Bengals at like 1 or 2 or 3.
Yeah, well, I can see it for sure, but let's not forget that Joe Burrow got hurt pretty bad here in like OTAs.
I know. I'm just saying it's interesting. I agree with you, but yeah, there's like, well, I guess people should wait until we talk about the playoffs.
Yes. Number 6 seed, not going to win their division, but will make the playoffs. Our Miami Dolphins. Fins up, Boris. I think we got a playoff team this year. 6th seed sounds about right for the roster. It'd be nice to have Jalen Ramsey on the field. He'll be coming. Get Jonathan Taylor. Ooh, nice. But I like the rookie running back we got. Devin Achua, is it? We got some talent here on the Miami Dolphins squadron.
I think the biggest question mark is Tua and how injury free he's going to be.
Yes, if Tua can be healthy, I think the Dolphins are for sure a playoff team. The thing is, I like our backup quarterback, Mike White. He's decent to solid backup quarterback, solid like C plus quarterback, which is all you can hope for out of a backup. So I don't think we're fooked, as the Bulldog might say, if indeed we've lost Tua. I think we actually have a solid backup this year.
Yep. All right, let us move on.
Number 5 seed, Kansas City Chiefs. And the only reason I have them at 5 is because I do feel like people are sleeping on another team in that division. This is not a pick against Kansas City. It's a pick for another team in the AFC West. But I just think, yeah, you can't win the division every year. At some point, you're going to only win 10 or 11 games versus 14 or 15. And this is just a year where I think Kansas City will not win the division because someone just outpaces them. That's all. Still going to be a great team.
Yep.
4th seed, the champions of the AFC North it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens, I feel like, this year. I really like Baltimore's roster. The defense has taken a little bit of a step back, but the offense has taken a big step forward, in my opinion. I think Lamar Jackson is going to be angry and out to prove people wrong. He's like a sneaky good pick for MVP, I think, this season. I think it's going to be the proverbial FU season from Lamar Jackson, and the Baltimore Ravens will win the North. It will be a competitive division, though. I like all four teams in this division.
Yeah, that's in my opinion. Like, man, the AFC is just so stacked, right? This season,
Stacked.
like, it's crazy.
Stacked. Respect, to quote Booker T. Put some respect on the AFC. Yes, AFC East champions, our third seed. I think the Bills. I will believe the Bills are not the champion of this division when they are defeated in the middle of the ring. They took the crown from New England. I still think this is the best team. Just like I said about Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen could absolutely go ham and win the MVP here and remind people who he is. People are sleeping on the Buffalo Bills. They're still very good.
Yeah. Sure, let's go with that.
The second seed in the AFC, based solely on their shit division, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They could easily go 6-0 in their own division. I think just by strength of schedule, I think Jacksonville is going to end up doing pretty decent, surprisingly well. And in a stacked AFC where all the teams are going to beat up on each other, everyone's going to be close. I could see Jacksonville finishing second with like 12 wins, 13 wins, So the Jacksonville Jaguars will sneak into second place in the AFC and dominate the Southern Division.
Yeah, sure.
And that one's I'm out on a limb with my 2 seeds in the AFC because 1 seed in the AFC, Los Angeles Chargers. This is like the last stand for the Chargers. If they don't do it this year, and we've said that a number of times, but I just feel like this is the year where everyone's officially given up on them. Nobody thinks they're that good, but look at that roster up and down. Herbert, an amazing quarterback still who's been battling injuries, is reportedly healthy as a football player gets coming into this season. I think everyone on earth has forgotten about the Chargers, and they will win the AFC and promptly shit their pants in the playoffs, Boris.
Man, yeah, I like where your head's at on that one for sure.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so let us go to the AFC playoffs, quickly run through it. The Bengals versus the Jaguars would be the 2-7 game. Sorry, Tony Khan. Give me Bengals over Jaguars. Time-tested Joe Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence, which would be a great playoff match. But yes, I'm going Bengals over Jaguars. We would have a 3 versus 6, Bills versus Dolphins. The homer in me, I'm on the BAM podcast here with my Dolphins fan friend Boris. I want to say Dolphins, but Buffalo would win that game.
Yeah, they're too good. They're just too good.
Too good. Again, I will believe Buffalo is not the champion of this division when they are defeated in the middle of the ring. We have not seen it yet. Yes,
not the Chargers.
Perhaps.
It's gonna be someone like the Jets to dethrone them. Just watch.
Might be. I've said my piece about 40-year-old ayahuasca Rogers. We shall see. The other first-round matchup would be Chiefs versus Ravens. That would be a good one. I would have the number 5 seed Chiefs over the Ravens. So that would leave us with number 7 seed Bengals versus number 1 seed Chargers. Bengals would oust the Chargers. Sorry, departed corpse of Phillip Rivers. Sorry, Justin Herbert. Not happening. Bengals over Chargers. And the other game would be Bills versus Chiefs. A great rivalry here. I'm going to give it to the Bills this time. So we have Bills versus Bengals in the AFC championship game. And I think Buffalo's going to make the Super Bowl. Buffalo will be in the Super Bowl this year. Cincinnati can't make it every year. They've made it in the last couple. But yes, Bills over Bengals. The 3 seed Buffalo Bills will win the AFC.
All right. That is them fighting words. And let's see how close you are to the AFC.
Yes, it will be fun. Okay, quickly, let's do the NFC. Arizona Cardinals, bottom team of the NFC. Kyler Murray's their only player. He tore his ACL. He might not play all season. They're in deep trouble. Arizona might go 0-17. Number 15, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield. That is my argument. Moving on. Number 14, the Los Angeles Rams. I think they're in deep trouble. They need Cooper Kupp, who's hurt, to stay healthy, Matt Stafford, who's hurt, to stay healthy. They need a lot of people to step back up. I think the Rams, they've won their Super Bowl a couple of years ago. The Rams are going to pack it in early this year.
Yep.
The number 13 seed, this one could bite me in the arse here. Green Bay Packers. The first year in a long time that they haven't had a bona fide stud number one quarterback. Will Jordan Love be that man? Brother of Kevin Love? Brother of Brother Love? Jordan Love, Boris, how do you feel about these Packers?
I think that they just aren't there yet. I don't think Love's the real deal. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, we have yet to see it from Jordan Love. They have a nice receiver there, Christian Watson. I like him a lot. I drafted him in fantasy. That's why I like him a lot. Correlation, causation. We'll see how much I like him at the end of the year. Anyway, Boris, Green Bay I have mediocre. Hopefully can throw a lot of passes to Christian Watson while losing games. The 12th seed in the NFC, the Washington Commanders. They're a team that nobody really likes to pay attention to. They could do some damage. They're getting better slowly, but I just think the quarterback, Sam Howitzer, what's his name? I don't know. It just doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in another good division. The division that the Commanders are in, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, all should be better than the Commanders.
Yep.
The Chicago Bears at the 11th seed, they're on the way up. For sure. Justin Fields getting a lot of pieces around him, getting some offensive line help, getting some receiver help. I just not enough yet in Chicago, not quite enough, but they're the arrow's trending upwards.
Yeah, that's a team I really don't I don't know too much about. Like I don't pay too much attention to, but just I'm doing some reading, listening to some shows and stuff. A lot of people seem kind of bearish on them. See you later.
Oh, hello. Thank you very much, Boris. Boris Aguilar. Tip your waitress, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Here's a hot, sexy playoff team that I don't think will be making it. The New York Giants, 10 seed. A lot of people are feeling the Giants this year. I think they're going to take a minor step back. I think last year we saw the best of Daniel Jones. They had that new coach shine. They got a new coach in there, and he was the kind of the toast of the NFL. But it's like when a pitcher comes into the league, has a really good first season, and then the rest of the league gets some tape on him. I think it's going to be tough times for the Giants. Especially when they play Dallas and Philly.
Yep. Agreed. And that division, like the East, is so crazy. But again, we'll see.
AFC East and NFC East arguably are the two strongest divisions. AFC North is also way up there, I believe. The New Orleans Saints I have at 9th will be better with Derek Carr at the helm as quarterback, but it is too an aging roster. You never know if or what you're going to get out of Michael Thomas anymore. At one time, the best receiver in football. He seems like he barely plays anymore. So the New Orleans Saints are not a playoff team. I think there's going to be some young teams in that division that shock people. And the final team that will miss the playoffs in the NFC, just off the bar, the Seattle Seahawks. They're good. Geno Smith, is it a little bit of fool's gold, or is Geno Smith just suddenly an excellent quarterback forever? We're going to see. I think Seattle's good, but I'm feeling like 9-8, 8-9, just missed the playoffs by a hair.
Yeah, I can see 9-8, but yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure where Smith's at. Seattle's in this like soft rebuild, not really rebuild type of situation. But I don't know. That's a team that I'm like interested to see where they end up in, but I just don't have full faith in them. So I kind of like that where you have them.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. They feel like the rebuild has been completed. I'm not sure if it has. This might be the year that the league finally catches up to your boy Pete Carroll and kicks him out the fucking door.
Yep.
All right. Our playoff teams in the NFC, the 7th seed NFC, Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, forever young as quarterback. I like the defense. I like the pieces around him. I think they will squeak into the playoffs and shock people. There will be 2 playoff teams out of the South, which people are not expecting.
Yep.
The sixth seed, Minnesota Vikings, out of the AFC North. Minnesota Vikings offense, you can't fuck with, though Kirk Cousins is still the quarterback, their receiving core is maybe the best in the league, highlighted by Justin Jefferson, the number one pick in almost every fantasy draft. The best receiver in football right now is Justin Jefferson. To go with KJ Osborne, to go with this kid who they drafted, whose name is escaping me right now. They have two good running backs. Alexander Madison has been a guy who fantasy owners have known for a long time because he'll catch a lot of passes. He's like a sneaky under the radar guy getting his shot. And Minnesota's defense, which has always been their weak point, is now led, Boris, by our boy, Brian Flores. And he's going to help. He's not going to hurt the defense. So I like the Vikings to make the playoffs.
Yeah, you like where your head's at. That's a good one. Good call. I think the Vikings, I think they're going to end up higher than where you have them, but as long as they're in the playoffs.
They could win that division for sure. The Philadelphia Eagles I have as the fifth seed. I don't think they will win the division, but just like the Chiefs, I think that this is a pick for another team, not a pick against the Eagles. The Eagles are going to be sick and make it far this year. They have a great roster, great quarterback, Jalen Hurts. The Eagles are going to be very good, but I just like another team in that division more.
Yep, that's fair.
The fourth seed, the champions of the NFC South, Atlanta Falcons. Fuck a passing game. We're just going to run down your throats. The Falcons defense is looking really, really nice these days. The preseason has been generous to them. It seems like the Falcons are very good. This is, if they can get Desmond Ridder to throw a pass successfully, this is a dangerous team.
Yeah, that's South. I think Atlanta's going to take the South. I think that should happen. I don't know. I'm tossing.
They need a quarterback. Yeah, Atlanta either needs a quarterback or to like lean heavily on the run, or Desmond Ridder just needs to take a big step up. But yes, the NFC South is pretty wide open, and I think the Falcons are the team that will take it.
Mm-hmm.
Third seed, NFC North champion, the Detroit Lions. Boris, they're here. It's finally time. Bears aren't that great. Aaron Rodgers is fucked off. This is the Lions' year. If not now, then when? It's going to be Detroit Lions, third seed in the NFC North.
Hard agree. Love it.
All right. Second seed, Dallas Cowboys. I think they will win the NFC East. Tough division. They will win that division over the Eagles. They improved the defense. They got rid of Zeke, which I think is only going to help because Tony Pollard secretly has kind of always been better than Zeke. And now he has got the keys to the castle, Boris. And yeah, I think with Tony Pollard, with perhaps Trey Lance at the helm at the end of the year, who knows? They're two quarterbacks deep. They have a great offense, great defense. Dallas Cowboys are doing damage this year.
Love it. Love it.
And your champions of the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers. I can't quit you, San Francisco. I just think that is one of the best teams in football, if not the best. And we've seen that they have quarterbacks they trust. They can go 3 or 4 deep with quarterbacks. They're a deep, talented team. San Francisco 49ers. So let us go to the playoffs, Boris. We would have the 7th seed Panthers versus the 2nd seed Cowboys. Dallas would beat Carolina. But Bryce Young, I do think, is going to get his team into the playoffs here.
Yep.
We would have Lions Seahawks in this build. And I'm going to go, sorry, not Seahawks, my bad, Vikings. Lions Vikings in this build, NFC North matchup. Though I have the Lions winning the division, I would have the Vikings winning this matchup. So we're going to put the Vikings over the Lions here in the playoffs.
All right. That's
also
ballsy. Lions, man. You know what? I think they're due to surprise some people.
It's just, am I really going to put my name on saying the Detroit Lions will win a playoff game? That's like predicting a. Yeah, well, no, they'll make the playoffs, but not win a playoff game. That's predicting a fish to fly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you gotta wait to see that with your own eyes. Also, Philadelphia versus Atlanta would be the 4-5 matchup. I would have Philadelphia beating Atlanta in that one. So that would leave us with the number 1 seed 49ers versus the 6th seed Vikings. I would have the Vikings losing to the 49ers there. I think, yeah, San Francisco is just too good. Although Brian Flores and the crew should not only make the playoffs, but win a game. So 49ers over 6th seed Vikings. And then we have Eagles versus Cowboys, the 5 seed Eagles versus the 2 seed Cowboys. Give me the Eagles to win that game. So 49ers versus Eagles in the NFC Championship game. I like the 49ers once more, as I said last year on this podcast, and we got pretty close. 49ers will win the NFC. 49ers will win the Super Bowl. San Francisco over Buffalo in the Superb Owl. The San Francisco 49ers will be your champions this season. Boris.
Yeah, man. You know what? Lock it in. Put it in as the BAM official picks. I co-sign that.
Amazing. All right. So that is the football preview for now. Maybe we'll keep you updated on some hot bets, some futures to take and stuff. And we'll definitely give you a rundown of opening day next week on the show.
Yep. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
All right, man. So what else we got on the docket?
All right. Let us jump to some wrestling. There's a lot on the go with wrestling. Man, Impact Wrestling has had some pretty good luck shows over the past few months. Their Emergence show was all right, but we have a quick turnaround because next Friday is their next mini pay-per-view, their Impact Plus special, and we have a lot of stuff going on with that. We have a full-ass card already on the docket for that show. There's, like I said, the turnaround is super fast. It's literally 2 shows. So they have a lot to do. So let's, we'll go through the full card next week. But I'm looking forward to Josh Alexander and Steve Macklin. That should be very good. A match that I personally don't understand is happening, and we saw it happen on TV during the Battle Royal when Alicia Edwards became the Knockouts #1 contender. She's facing Trinity. Match that I think is going to steal the show, be on a lot of people's list, is going to be Kushida versus Lio Rush. That should be a lot of fun. And here's a fun one for you, Matt. And again, we'll go through the full preview next week. And this is for the Digital Media Championship title versus career. Kenny King, Tommy Dreamer.
Interesting. Do you think we will see the retirement of the great Thomas Dreamer?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, that is a tough one. It wouldn't shock me. We've seen some mid to high profile retirements recently in wrestling, as we will get to shortly. But I don't know. It's not that not that Tommy Dreamer needs to keep wrestling, but it's a little out of nowhere. I'd be kind of surprised if he lost. This might be building up to a one final run here for Tommy Dreamer kind of situation.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. So that is some Impact. Want to jump to ROH?
It's my favorite portion of the podcast. Of course I do.
All right, so let's talk about Ring of Honor from August 31st. It sucked. Let's move on.
Oh, what happened? Did anyone do anything of note at all? Did Zack Sabre Jr. wrestle at least?
Honestly, I stopped watching halfway through the show. I just couldn't. I'll continue later, as I do my full recap and rundown of all the wrestling shows. But I just wasn't feeling all the matches yesterday, to be 100% honest.
Understandable. I did hear really great things about NXT this week. The great Steve Swift, of course. Check out Steve Swift's numerous podcasts now on the network. He's the best in the business. Love old Swifty. But NXT was sick this week. Great 5-minute match between Butch and Charlie Dempsey. Charlie Dempsey, if you're unfamiliar, the son of William Regal versus Pete Dunne. They have a G1 going on, a round robin tournament going on NXT right now. NXT's firing. It's a good show.
Of William Regal against the son of Kevin Dunn.
Yes, exactly. There could only be one true son of the wrestling business.
Yep. No, NXT is producing some amazing TV, and dude, it is crazy. I think I had to bring this up because it looks like I could be right. Trick Williams is a star.
Oh, super stud, super stud. And I was listening to the Brian and Vinny show before we started. They were talking NXT, and Vinny had a good point. I believe it was one of them said, "What if Carmelo turns on Trick because Mello is getting paranoid and jealous of Trick and not the other way around?" I would like that twist.
I like that twist. Let's book it. Put it out there in the universe. Let's let's make it happen. I really do like that,
Yes.
and I can see that happening, especially because like I didn't think that I thought the Trick Williams that we're seeing right now would happen on the main roster. I didn't think that we would get this amazing Trick, and we're clearly on this road. And I don't know whether it's going to be Payback or the next pay-per-view, but we're going to get Mello versus Trick.
It's coming soon. Yeah, Trick Williams doing a great job. The hype man, he's going to be the baby face out of all of this. And yeah, they could both have long, storied careers. They both look like incredible prospects. It's very, very good stuff happening in NXT right now.
Yep. All right, let's move on to some quick chat about AEW All In. Matt, what did you think of the show? What was your favorite match? I don't even want to talk about the other stuff going on.
Nah. Yeah, screw it. Yeah, there's CM Punk drama going on. Google it if you want to hear about that. I just have no desire to talk about it. I did actually watch Punk's speech at the Cauliflower Alley when he won the award, and that was really nice. If you want to see good vibes, listen to that. But yeah, so I liked the All In show a lot. I thought it was because I care a lot about presentation. I care a lot about the crowd. You know what I mean? I thought this was the best show probably that AEW's ever done. Definitely be the one that you'd show somebody who has never seen AEW to say this is what AEW hopefully could be and hopefully is all about. I think the best match, my favorite match, was the main event. I feel like that was the best match. I thought that they earned the right to go into the drama, the sports entertainment aspect of wrestling. I went along for the ride. They hooked me. I like that match a lot. I also liked Stadium Stampede, and I also loved Bucks versus FTR. You could either one of those three matches, in my opinion, were classics, including Stadium Stampede. But yeah, Bucks versus FTR and the main event and Stadium Stampede, all amazing classic wrestling matches.
Yep. Stadium Stampede, you know how I feel about these type of matches. I thought it was good, regardless. But yeah, the main event, Cole, MJF, there was just the story, the drama, the storytelling. MJF, we know, just understands professional wrestling. Cole, honestly, his time in WWE really helped him a lot to tell those in-ring stories and that drama, etc. And this was just a great match overall that really set things up over the next week. But man, that turnaround of a week is just stupid, and the fact that they think that they can do this yearly and have people give a shit is going to be very interesting, because I look, and this is our segue, into All Out, and I'm like, look, I know it's going to be a good show. This is the WWE thing, where I know it's going to be a good pay-per-view because they know how to put on pay-per-views and everyone gives a shit. But I look up and down this card, and there's literally maybe one thing that entices me.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I know exactly what you mean. It's just too much wrestling. Like, there could be too much of a good thing. It's been too much wrestling. That's been a problem for years and years and years, and it's only getting worse, not better. But AEW's put on so many shows lately, not just pay-per-views, but just like to keep up with Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage, and now weekly pay-per-views. It's too much, man. It's just physically not possible. So I think there is a tipping point, and I think the glass runneth over. You know what I mean?
Dude,
but like you said,
and then they want us to like do a month turnaround and have that that Dreamland show on October 1st. Yep. AEW is asking a lot from their faithful.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. And they're gonna end up burning out a portion of their fan if they haven't already. Yeah, Wrestle Dream, AEW Wrestle Dream, Sunday, October 1st, which is interesting because correct me if I'm wrong, but that's going to be the first ever AEW pay-per-view going head-to-head against the NFL. Tony Khan does not like to book head-to-head against football.
Yeah, you're right. It'll be very interesting to see what happens there. They're in Seattle for that one. Yeah, sure, whatever. But you know that he's going to have a stack card for that very reason, right?
Yeah, I think Will Ospreay for sure will be on the card because it's supposed to be a shout out to the New Japan legend Antonio Inoki, right? This is an
Yep.
Inoki, what would you even call it? Like tribute show, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's the Inoki tribute show, for lack of a better term.
So I think we were gonna have to get at least Will Ospreay on the show. There is a New Japan show that day, but Will Ospreay is not booked for it. Oh, nor are your boys Bishamon. I
Yeah.
read.
Yep. Yeah, that's fantastic. Let's talk about the all. You know what Bishamon should be? ROH, because they all suck. Let's talk about some AEW All Out. Run through the card, and then we're gonna jump to some WWE Payback because that is happening tomorrow. Again, another busy weekend of professional wrestling as we have Payback and All Out. And just a reminder for those of you listening here on Sunday night's main event, we will have a aftercast. That's a podcast after the show for WWE Payback. And then on Sunday, we're going to have an after party where everyone will be able to listen to our thoughts, and then we'll be able to join in and give their thoughts because we're going to be live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
Amazing. Payback and All Out this weekend. Full ass weekend of wrestling. Yeah, do you got the cards? Let's run through them.
Yeah. All right. For AEW All Out, let us start with the TNT Championship. Your champ, Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin.
It'll be interesting to see. I love Darby Allin versus a huge guy. I think it's too early to take the title off of Christian and Luchasaurus.
Yeah, but it's a TNT Championship, so Allin's winning. That's like literally my thought process.
Maybe.
Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
Big Hoss battle here. Feels like Miro's probably going to win. But
Hobbs battle.
Oh, yeah, man. I don't know. I don't think either guy can afford the loss. Miro shouldn't come in and lose right away, although I think he might. But Powerhouse Hobbs shouldn't lose at all because he loses way too much. He's a big fucking huge jack guy who could be a big star, but they beat like a drum. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm guessing Hobbs wins, but neither man should lose.
I agree 100% with you, but here's the way that I've noticed AEW does stuff. If someone takes a loss that they shouldn't take, they disappear for a few weeks. So I can say Hobbs winning, Miro disappearing for like a month or two, and we just randomly forget that he lost his big match.
That's very astute observating of you. I think you're completely right. Miro disappearo.
Well played, my friend. Let us jump to the TBS Championship as your champion, Chris Statlander. Hey, remember she's the champ and she actually did stuff versus Ruby Soho.
It was a robbery that Chris Statlander was not in London. She should have been on that card. But yeah, hopefully she gets to win a good match and continue her run here. I like Ruby Soho a lot, but her run in AEW has been uninspiring, has left a little to be desired. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a very fair statement to say. But does that change? Does Ruby Soho get the belt?
Oh, no, I don't think she gets the belt, but I think she could have a really good match with Stat, and that would help everyone a lot.
Yep. All right, the next match for the AEW International Championship match, as I like to call it, the Bob Kapoor Invitational, Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley.
This will be the best match on the show. This will main event the show. I really hope that Orange Cassidy wins and in the main event of the pay-per-view holds the belt above his head, and he is the fucking champion, and that's how you go off the air. Orange Cassidy, big star. But I think Moxley will beat Orange, sadly. This is the end of the run for Orange Cassidy, but he will main event a pay-per-view against Jon Moxley on the way out.
He's been champ for 11 months, so I think you're right. But I really do want Cassidy to retain, and like you said, it would be great for him, just as a homegrown talent, quote unquote, to hold that title to end the show.
Yes, I loved the match against Pentagon. I love the promo he cut at the end of Dynamite, talking about how he's here, he's the one fighting. He is basically the heart and soul of AEW, man. Honestly, like people give that to the Elite, and rightfully so, I suppose. Like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, you can probably say, but you could also say that about Orange Cassidy. He's kept the fucking lights on.
And for those of you who wonder why we watch AAA, CMLL, and stuff like that, watch Penta versus Orange Cassidy from Dynamite.
Just awesome lucha match between Pentagon and noted luchador Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, Cassidy Naranja. Why do you
Amazing.
take a sip as we're podcasting? You should know better.
Oh, love it though, Boris. Love it.
Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita.
If Orange versus Moxley doesn't main event, this has to be the main event. This should be an awesome match. I'm so excited to see Konosuke Takeshita get his one-on-one match versus Kenny. You know Kenny's going to try his hardest to make it special.
This next match is a loaded one, as we have FTR and the Young Bucks versus Bullet Club Gold. See what I did?
I did. Oh, did you hear? Dave Meltzer officially reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the most recent one, that the England crowd did my chant. It didn't make TV, you didn't hear it, but the England crowd did chant, "Danny's got a gun" at Cash Wheeler. Cash has got a gun. Thank you, England, and good night. The best chants in the history of professional wrestling. England, the British crowds, the UK crowds really invent some hilarious chants and songs. So great.
Yep. Back to business. Bullet Club Gold.
Oh yeah, no, no. I just wanted to shout out the England crowd.
Yeah, I know.
I guess. Okay, where do you think it goes? Do you think the Young Bucks turn on FTR or vice versa, or are they just going to be friends and beat the Bullet Club?
They're just gonna, this match is gonna end in a circle jerk regardless. So I think that they should stick as friends and do this weird can they coexist thing continuing, right? Like, I just think it'd be too quick of a turnaround at this point.
They're teaming together for a reason. I think this program is continuing. I don't think this is going to be a weird thing where they I think it's going to be. So I kind of think that FTR is going to turn on the Bucks and go heel in this match. I think.
Yeah. I think this match is going to steal the show. I think this is the match of the night right here.
Maybe. I'm picking Bullet Club due to them not coexisting, due to the Bucks and FTR not coexisting. Bullet Club Gold will win.
Yep. MJF and Adam Cole, your champions, versus John Silver and Alex Reynolds for the ROH World Tag Team Championship.
Baffling choice. Just a baffling choice here.
This is
MJF is.
This is honestly the most Tony Khan booking I've ever seen on this card.
Yes, the main criticism of Tony Khan's booking is that he stretches things out so long. He does so many quote unquote pointless matches, and stories progress at a glacial pace. And if you wanted to project that complaint onto this show, this is the one. Like, this match really makes no sense. MJF just main evented the last pay-per-view with Adam Cole. They should be doing something way more important than going against the Dark Order here. Even if it was them against the Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, that would make a lot more sense. Even if it was them against like the Hardys to get it like a higher profile match, them against any high profile tag team. God bless the Dark Order, but they have been treated like jabronis almost the entire time they've been in wrestling or
on AEW TV. ROH, they're honestly, it's night and day how they're like portrayed.
But Boris, even you who watches Ring of Honor openly mocks it every week. Like, no one's really watching Ring of Honor, so that barely counts.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm just saying it's there, but if I shit in a forest, did I really shit?
Yes, I believe you did. But yeah, I know what you're saying. This match makes very little sense. It's confusing, but I'm sure it will be good in the ring. It just, it feels like a waste of MJF and Adam Cole to just throw them against a jabroni tag team in the middle of the show.
It's a huge waste, in my opinion. I look up and down this card. I still don't see Keith Lee versus Swerve Strickland. At this point, you might as well just not have that match. At this point, if I was writing stuff for AEW, I would honestly have them cross paths backstage and just say, hey, don't we hate each other? And just walk away.
That's funny. That's a little Vince Russo, but it would make a lot of people laugh. That's quite funny. I wonder if the only explanation I have for this is literally Keith Lee refused to lose to Swerve Strickland, or vice versa, of course. But that's like the only explanation I have to why you wouldn't do this, because like it makes no sense to not do a match there.
And then my counter argument to that would have been, so what? It's your fucking job. But then I'm reminded that the inmates run this asylum. So there you go.
Neon lights,
All right.
Nobel Prize.
Oh my God. A match that I never knew I wanted, nor like this. I'm so torn on this match because this match has no reason for being on this card. This match, having said that, is a match that I do think is going to be great, and that's Shane Taylor versus Samoa Joe for the ROH World Television Championship. You know what's amazing? Before you say anything, this card is a better card than ROH's last pay-per-view.
Oh, guaranteed. But it kind of feels like a Ring of Honor pay-per-view.
Yes,
this one.
That's what I mean.
Ring of Honor champion, Samoa Joe, Ring of Honor television champion, versus Ring of Honor star Shane Taylor. I feel kind of like Tony Khan was appreciative of Samoa Joe's efforts on the All In card, both in the ring and outside of the ring. And I feel like this is a reward to Samoa Joe. He was like, thank you for being you. Who do you want on the next pay-per-view? You can wrestle whoever you want, do whatever you want. And he handpicked Shane Taylor. That is totally a guess, but I would put money on that.
I would why this match is on the be shocked if that's the case, right? Like, let's be honest.
I bet you $100.
Yeah, all things considered, Samoa Joe could have easily gone to business for himself on Sunday. All things considered, by all reports. So the fact that he was able to kind of keep things going, I think that's why we see this match. And I think this match is going to be fucking great. I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm a huge fan of Shane Taylor, along with our friend of the show, Dick Xavier. I think this match is a match that people are going to be shocked about. And just like, this is, again, similar to, FTR and the Bucks. This is going to be up there.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, it could steal the show for sure. This thing about the All Out card, you look at it on paper and you're like, huh, really? But then, as with every other AEW pay-per-view, when you actually watch the show, it's going to be a banger after banger after banger kind of show.
It's the WWE thing, right? Where it's like, what the fuck is this pay-per-view? And then you watch it and it's like, oh, that was pretty good, right?
Yep. Yes,
all right.
Exactly right. Yeah, and this match is going to slap.
The Matt Eder Invitational, Eddie Kingston and Shibata versus the Blackpool Combat Club.
The world is cold, Boris. Better bundle up. It's Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori fucking Shibata on pay-per-view. Let's go. Wheeler Yuta is there to be obliterated, eaten for lunch. But we're going to continue the Eddie versus Claudio story. That's going to be a match down the road. Eddie Kingston will win the Ring of Honor title down the road. That's going to be really cool. But yeah, no, I'm excited for this. I love all four guys. I love Wheeler Yuta. He's getting pretty good in that wrestling ring.
If it's not Eddie Kingston versus Claudio at Final Battle at ROH in December, I'm just completely done with ROH.
That's totally fair. That is the match that they have clearly been building towards. That is Ring of Honor's Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan. That is Ring of Honor's Rock versus Austin. That's the match they have to do to culminate this year. They have to.
Yep. That's all out. Like I say, very weird card on paper, looks iffy, but it's going to be a great show. And just remember that here on SNME Radio, we're going to be having an after party for that show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, very excited to talk some wrestling with you and the Grant family. Wrestling has more than one royal family, Boris, and the Grants are our SNME wrestling royal family. Can't wait to talk to Maddie and Aaron about All Out, brother.
Yep. All right, let us jump to WWE Payback because that's a show that you're going to be talking about in podcast form after it happens at some point, along with the Smack Daddies. I believe you and Greg recruited Brad as well for that one. So let's talk.
Yeah, I think we roped him in.
Yeah, WWE Payback again. This is a shorter card, but looks half decent. And we're going to start things off with the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship Steel City Street Fight. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Judgment Day's Damian Priest and Finn Balor.
Yeah, anytime I see Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn street fight, I think of the absolutely 5-star, mind-blowing, batshit insane classic they had with the Briscoe boys. And it's like, well, this won't be that. But if they even give us the Diet Coke version of that match, it will be fabulous. Sami and Kevin, the Payback Airs 2.0 to retain.
Yeah, we're getting the Pepsi-free version of that, right? Like,
yes. Yeah, it will be a tamer version because God help me, it would have to be. But these guys are amazing in this setting, so it should be a lot of fun.
United States Championship, Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory.
Respectfully to the great Rey Mysterio, not a ton of interest in this one. Austin Theory is still missing something. He needs a little spice. This Austin Theory.
He needs a manager. Steel cage match.
Yes.
Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus.
So much like AEW All Out, there's not an obvious main event on WWE Payback. Do you think there's a chance that this might main event the show?
It's either this or the heavyweight match, like the heavyweight championship.
Yeah, agreed. We'll talk about it when we get there, but I think there's a chance this one main events the show. It could easily happen. Becky Lynch will defeat Trish Stratus, I think.
Long time feud, culmination of the feud, hopefully the end of the feud. It's a steel cage. Kind of makes sense for it to main event, but we'll get to that other match in a second because before that, we're going to talk about LA Knight versus The Miz. Did you watch The Miz on Raw?
I saw it on YouTube, just for like 2 minutes. The Miz doing an LA Knight impersonation. A pretty good impression. I laughed. It was good.
It was good. It was great. I think this match is going to be a lot better than people think. And if LA Knight loses, I want to join your call just to hear Greg's rant.
Oh, it will be fabulous, I'm sure. Yeah, Greg will be upset. Yeah, these are two guys who are way better talkers than they are wrestlers, way better characters. And LA Knight is a better talker than Miz, in my opinion. But Miz obviously can do his thing and do it well. But yeah, two character-driven wrestlers here having a match. I'm sure it will be full of shenanigans. Probably won't be the best match on the show. But like you said, they're going to take some pride in this one because they know how people feel about them. LA Knight has been hungry in that wrestling ring lately. I think this could be okay.
Yep. WWE Women's World Championship match. Your champion, Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Gonzalez Rodriguez. I think this match is, hopefully, this is going to be a great match, I think. I think we're going to see why Rhea Ripley is champ again, and this is going to be Raquel Rodriguez's coming out party.
Yes, they had a pretty solid match on NXT a couple of years ago, a last woman standing that we both quite enjoyed on NXT Talk a lifetime ago here on Sunday night's main event. But yeah, if they can get even close to that level, this will be a good match. They have good chemistry, longtime friends apparently, and that always helps when you're having a wrestling match. So yes, I am excited for this one. Rhea will retain, though. It would be malpractice if they took the belt off her now.
WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. My God, the work that they're doing on Nakamura, I kind of don't want this feud to end.
That's why I feel like Nakamura should win the title in the main event of this show. That would be so good to cement the great work that he's been doing lately, to cement him as this evil mastermind heel that they've built up. Nakamura's promos, like the promo packages they've been doing for him over the last couple of weeks, have been stellar. Must see stuff on the YouTube. If you're a big Nakamura fan, he's doing probably the best work of his WWF main roster career. Obviously in NXT he was sick, but this is the best work of his main roster career, right?
By far, it's not even close. By far it is. Yeah. And man, like this match, I'm so excited for this match. And I'm going to say this, and I know this is ballsy, but I think that this could be the match of the weekend.
Oh, nice. They're going to want Nakamura is going to be hungry too, but they're going to want a great one here. Seth Rollins is the man to do it. I'm putting my chips on Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley, but this could be close, man, for sure. That's a nice call. I like where your head's at. And
then we're going to have the Waller effect with Cody fucking Rhodes.
Adrenaline in Grace and Soul, skibbity bap badoo bado, dingo hate my baby all the way.
So that's Payback. There we go.
Weird shows this weekend. 2 pay-per-views that, while they should be good, don't feel like you got to go out of your way to watch them, But on the plus side, you don't have to watch them because I'm watching them both, and I'm going to tell you about them this weekend. Full-ass weekend of wrestling for me, but it'll be a lot of fun.
Yep. I think it's gonna be. It's again. We're treated to so much great wrestling. Really looking forward to the end of this weekend, and we'll see who's champ and who's crying and what backstage brawls happen. Because that's a thing.
Oh man. Okay. So let's for 2 minutes before we get off of this, and we have one more topic to talk about wrestling, I believe, before we call it quits. But if you never see CM Punk again in AEW, are you going to be sad? How do you feel about that?
It's. I've gone to the point where I just don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, man. It's sad because like September 2021, people were weeping when CM Punk came back, but it's just like the mask has slipped a little bit. I love CM Punk. I still love his work. I still think he's a great promo and has a lot to offer to professional wrestling. But even the biggest CM Punk fan has to be like, man, like fuck, it's actually sad how much he's hurt his legacy, he's hurt his image, and how much he's kind of, I don't know, just like fallen out of favor with the fan. And I don't know what what he could possibly do to get it back, other than like straight up apologizing. I just don't understand how it's gotten to this point,
I don't either. You know, I just don't know. Honestly, like I just don't know how to talk about it. I don't know how to frame it because there's just so much bullshit out there. We don't know what the truth is, and it's just at this point, like it just again, the part that gets to me the most isn't the fact that this shit is going on, is that AEW clearly has no leader. They need an Undertaker in the locker room. Punk thinks it's him. It is not. And number two is that, AEW has another just historic moment that gets completely overshadowed by drama.
Yes, I do think this one was not completely overshadowed. I like All Out, the Brawl Out. They had a great pay-per-view that was completely overshadowed. The only thing that anyone was speaking about was CM Punk. This time, I do feel like a lot of people were still speaking about Wembley, still speaking about that great show, still speaking about that great card. Punk tried to make it about himself, arguably, or just shit just happened, whatever. But it didn't. I don't know if this one overshadowed it. I know you can't just dub yourself a leader. You can't just come in and start being a dick to people and that's what makes you a leader because you're an old man. You know who the leader of AEW's locker room is? It's John Moxley. It's Orange Cassidy. It's these guys who were there and were working and shutting the fuck up and doing their business. Hangman Page, I would say, is like a leader because though he started this whole thing, arguably, since then he's shut the fuck up. I assume he understands that you can't go into business for yourself because shit like this could happen. I don't know, man. Yeah, it's like you said, there's a feel of the inmates running the asylum for sure, but at least they put on good wrestling products. At least Tony Khan cares about wrestling and understands it and wants to succeed at wrestling. At least he respects the wrestling fan. But yeah, you're right. You're totally right. They need an Undertaker. They need a bad guy in that locker room. They need a head of talent relations, a Jim Ross, a Johnny Ace.
Isn't that what Christopher Daniels is there for? Isn't he part of the talent relations?
Well, nominally, yes, right, and that's what they say. But if the wrestler, if the rumors are true that CM Punk has him banned from Collision, then no, they don't have a head.
Yeah, but then that becomes a leadership issue that comes down to Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yes.
Right? But you do. But, let's be honest. Wrestlers, they do need a wrestler to kind of be the leader. And right now, that's what they're lacking. And let's be honest, man. This is something where someone like an Edge could really make a difference. But with all these issues, do you think Edge is going to, at his age, want to have to deal with this bullshit? Fuck no.
Well, that's just it. That's just it, man. He can put his feet up on a beach and watch his kids grow and hang out with his hot wife for the rest of his life. Like, why would he come in to fucking babysit AEW? Conversely, if Tony Khan could drop a big enough bag on his front lawn to make him do that, it could really help AEW.
Yep. Perfectly said. All right, we have one last thing to talk about. Let's frame it. You can frame it, my friend.
Well, from the Funkasaurus, Boris, to the most reviled and hated National Wrestling Alliance champion of all time, Tyrus has apparently retired from the game. The Funkasaurus is dead. Long live the comet that killed him, aka EC3. But yes, at the NWA 75th anniversary pay-per-view, looks like Tyrus lost the title and retired from wrestling. My friend.
This is my career retrospective of Tyrus. Very similar to my weekly retrospective of Ring of Honor. They suck.
Somebody call my mama.
And there you have it. That's Bam.
Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, the worst wrestling company on earth. Your local indie is better. But at least the Fox News Funkasaurus ain't the NWA champion anymore. At least the guy on Fox News isn't holding the belt that Orville Brown and George Hackenschmidt held, apparently, and stuff. It's supposed to be the lineage of the original world title.
Yeah.
Anyway, Boris, I think it's better for the world that EC3 is the champ, which is a sad state of affairs.
Well, NWA has an uphill battle to climb because Camille lost after 800 plus days as champion. She's a free agent, apparently. Where do you think she's going to end up?
Oh, AEW could use her, honestly. Although they need more star power than they need good hands. Camille's a really good wrestler, and she would help the AEW women's division. It wouldn't shock me to see her in NXT, though.
I think NXT. I think she's NXT bound, to be honest. I don't know. That's what I think. Look, AEW's got the talent. They just need to learn how to use them.
You're completely right. They've got talent for sure. They need a little more star power. But Camille is a great wrestler.
She's not star. She's not a star power.
No,
she's got zero.
No,
like she's big for us wrestling geeks and nerds.
You're right. 100% right. 100% right. AEW's women's division needs a Sasha Banks, needs a Mercedes Moné. That's what they need.
That's a star power that AEW's women's division needs at the very least, right? So we'll see where Camille ends up. We'll see what Tyrus does on Fox News because, that's what everyone cares about. And most importantly, we'll see how EC3 does as the end. I can't even fucking finish this.
I await with bated breath the EC3 championship run. Popcorn ready.
Of Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins here in Toronto, Budweiser Stage, Saturday evening, September 2nd.
Oh, aren't they doing live NWA matches during the concerts now? Let's not go to that.
On some of them, yeah. We're done, right?
All right, man. Well, it's nice talking to you this weekend.
Like NWA, just like the wrestling world, it just completely takes us out of it. Like, I'm just bored even thinking about NWA. Anyways, you've been listening to BAM Weekly here on the SNME Radio Network and the BAM Sports Entertainment feed. And just remember that if you are coming from SNME Radio, we have not one but two big shows coming at you this weekend. First, on Saturday evening, it is WWE Payback, and we're going to do an aftercast. That's a podcast after the show. Matt's going to be running that with the Smack Daddies. And then on Sunday evening, after AEW All Out, and hopefully we don't have to talk about any backstage brawls, we're going to be doing an after party featuring myself, Matt, and the Grants. And we're going to be live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTubes. You'll get your link if you're a patron. And if not, you're going to have to wait a little bit. But you'll be able to let us know what you think live on the show because we turn things over to you, the listener. Patreon.com/SNME Radio if you want to help keep the lights on. Matt, as always, it's been a pleasure. Fuck you, Rogers. Fuck you, Internet. He's Matt. I'm Boris. Till next time, goodbye and stay tranquilo.
Always good to talk to you, Boris. Orange Cassidy, pay-per-view main eventer. Yeah.